Let me actually use it. This will be the first photo I take. It's so nice. Hey friends, I bought a new lens. It's not a Nikon, it's in a Nikon bag. It's actually a Sigma lens because I have a Canon camera. But let's talk about how Canon royally messed up and why I bought the Sigma lens, and then how you can use that experience to help you have a more successful business and not really follow Canon's path in this mistake. In fact, I'll even liken Canon's move to what Instagram's been doing, making their audience feel very taken for granted, not really valued, taken advantage of. And it sounds dramatic, but it does bother me because I've spent 6 years teaching photographers all over the internet for free. And so I understand what people go through, and I have my own experience of how I started. Now I'm going to tell you what Canon I think is doing wrong, the misstep that they're taking, how you're going to use that experience to give a better experience to your clients and make sure that they win and make sure that they don't feel like Canon customers. So Tony Northrup did this really cool video right here, and he spoke about how Canon is making a mistake and he hopes that they do a 180 and they turn and they change their mind on this. But Canon has the RF mount, and so the RF mount is the new ones for their mirrorless cameras. I'll say this, the beginning of my career, day one, I bought the Canon 40D. That helped start my career. Then I saved a little bit of money. Then I got the Canon 5D Mark II. And then after that, I waited like, I want to say almost 10 years because I didn't think anything Canon was presenting to the world was worthy of purchasing. I'll even give you an example because I'm putting this as my wallpaper and I'm proud of it. A Rolling Stone cover from a Canon camera. Like, I'm a Canon guy. In that 10 years that I thought Canon was being lazy, I didn't even buy another camera because there were so many opportunities. This was when Sony's really emerging on the market and they were killing it. And so many people changed to Sony. I still stuck with Canon because I had brand loyalty, and there's a lot of people like me. Now, why am I so wound up about this and how does it affect you? I left my stylist did, but I'll take the blame for it. I left my 24-70 Canon L series lens on the streets of downtown Los Angeles in a photo shoot. But I just got the Sigma 24-70 2.8 lens. It's such a beautiful lens as part of their art lens series. And I have the Canon R6. Here's why it bothers me. When I first started, I didn't have a lot of money, like so many of you guys. And I relied on aftermarket lenses or borrowing or doing what I can. I know so many photographers that relied on aftermarket lenses because buying the Canon native lenses is expensive, especially these new RF lenses. Like, I just don't think that they're worth it. Sorry, Canon. You guys are a phenomenal brand, and I think that you guys locking out third-party vendors like Sigma out of the market, Tamron, and a few other ones out of the market is selfish of you guys. I think it's greedy of you guys. I think that the excuse is lame and saying, oh, we don't want substandard photos. Well, you've been delivering substandard cameras for quite a few years. And now I think the new ones are phenomenal. So prohibits a lot of new photographers from truly experimenting with photography because they're thinking, oh, I bought the R6, like it's a somewhat affordable, phenomenal camera. So I'm gonna try to look for a lens. Oh wait, I have to only buy a Canon? That sucks. And so what happens is, like in my photography, I would go out of business if I corner my clients in one side, then I say, this is all you got. This is your only choice. You don't get any other choices. It doesn't sit well with them. And people are smart and people understand loyalty, and people for sure remember how you made them feel. Now Canon made me feel like, hey Walid, this is it. It's this or the highway. And that really upset me. So what I did is I purchased an adapter, $40, works just fine. So I'll put the adapter in to my Canon R6. This increases my chances of forgetting an adapter at home when I'm at a photo shoot. But even still, I would much rather do this and buy a Sigma lens than support Canon. I'm going technically backwards in camera because I'm going through the old mount. Now, here's the thing. Canon is very fortunate that it only has a handful of competitors. So we may go to like a Sigma or Tamron or some of the other ones. But you and I, there's hundreds of competitors just in our neighborhood. If we ever treated clients badly, took them for granted, they'd leave like the first chance they got and go to another person. So when you do that, when you are that arrogant in your moves, you will immediately cash in. Down the line, your brand will be tarnished. And I'll tell you especially, you guys have been sitting on 2-3 years of good cameras. You have a decade where Sony ate up so much of your market because you have been releasing, watch me never get a Canon endorsement, but you have been releasing substandard equipment, which is why I sat on my 5D Mark II, and it was a phenomenal camera, but I didn't think another one was worth it. However, I tried to stay with Canon. Had I known that Canon was going to do this, I would have jumped into another camera system and said forget this, because they're like, oh boo-hoo, poor baby, he didn't get his RF mount the way he wanted it. Guess what? I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that have my attitude, and they're like, you know what, no, I remember you kind of made me feel crappy during this whole period, and I'm gonna go support another brand. There are too many good camera brands for Canon to not pay attention to that. What lesson do we have in that in us, in our business? Well, I'll tell you this. Oh, it's the first time. The click. The lesson is that the same market that made you can also destroy you. And so we have to remember that as photographers or videographers. And we have to look at our clients and say, you are never going to get only one option. So I teach this in my step pricing course, which is linked down below, but let's focus on this still. You always give your clients 3 choices, because when you corner somebody, they are less likely to pay attention to what you are offering because they're more offended. We also will remember that that client who is paying our bills can also turn off the faucet and go down the street and get somebody else. And so that client can also make us completely into a successful business and refer us to their circles. So once you become cocky and you lose sight of how you got there and you start taking advantage of the people that fed you and your business, things start slipping on you. I predict that the response to Canon doing this is not going to be very positive. Now, they're very smart. I'm sure they've done the calculations, as Tony Northrup said, and they probably will make a big profit immediately. But it's going to leave a lot of people feeling a certain kind of way. And they're just going to start getting these little adapters. And they're going to start getting the older lenses, which are phenomenal. And they'll start shooting. And they'll start realizing, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to invest more in these other lenses. And some of you may even say, oh Waleed, such big talk, because the only reason why you bought the Sigma is because this one is $1,412. You might be saying, yeah, but you saved $1,000. That's really why you went with Sigma. No, not true. I could afford an RF lens, and especially a photographer at my level, I should have an RF lens. I shouldn't have to rely on an adapter. But I'm one of those people that I'm loyal to people, I am loyal to brands, I'm loyal to people that work with me, people that are my friends, until I don't need to be loyal anymore. And then it's done. And so there's a lot of people like me. Like Instagram has done such a phenomenal job in making sure that the people who help build that platform now don't have a place there anymore. Like they've actually gone out of their way to make sure that it's no longer a pleasant app. I kind of feel like Canon is going down that road. So that's my rant in this. This is my new lens that I'm very, very in love with right there. I also just bought a strap too, and I bought this from Las Vegas at B&C Camera. So I just got my first Sigma lens. I will look forward to getting additional Sigma lenses, and if the time comes where I really want to jump to a Fuji system or Leica, Hasselblad, then I will, because that loyalty to Canon is no longer there. I know. By the way, let me know if you have the 2470 Sigma lens, what you think of it, and any pros and cons, which I'll find out, and I'll do a shoot and we'll film that, but please let me know your thoughts too. Thank you so much for watching. This video will help you a lot more with your business and your pricing, and I'll see you guys next time. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Let me actually use it. This will be the first photo I take. It's so nice. Autofocus. Lovely. We're done with that. All right, bye.